Hey guys, just showing off. Mic came unclipped. Just showing off my zombie Audrey Hepburn shirt, which I love. It's from a company called Threadless, and their basic operating model is artists basically submit designs and they'll sell them. And obviously, the more popular your design, the more shirts you'll sell. But so they have a lot of cool designs that pop up. But I think my wife got me this as a present at some point years ago. I don't wear it too often because I want to preserve it as long as possible, and it's a little bit tight, so I need to lose a little bit of weight before it's like truly comfortable. But yeah, thought I'd show that off for you guys. And forgive the light, like the sun's going down over there. And I literally think, I don't think I've ever made YouTube videos when days have been this long before. So kind of gotta get used to that, or, you know, maybe set up on that railing. But hopefully just a quick one today. I'm having some Sam Goth Full Virginia Flake, courtesy of Stephen Skip, in my Blake Marr Canadian. Nice little pipe. First time having Full Virginia Flake. Oh, this is from 2018, so it's got some decent age on it as well, which is very cool. But it's very good. It's a very tasty blend. Nice, you know, moderately sweet Virginias. It's kind of got the sort of bread notes everybody talks about. I think that's what I'm picking up, at least. It's good though. I enjoy it. Looking forward to trying more of it for sure. But yeah, I was just coming out here after a long day inside working. Tends to get very monotonous, but we did have a pretty cool meeting where you know, the CEO of the company's been sending out regular communications, obviously early on, around, you know, things like COVID and how we're dealing with it, and et cetera, and more recently, you know, addressing the issues around race and the protesting and everything that's going on in the country right now. And so he brought everybody together for a thing this afternoon, and actually had people do, like, I guess kind of like the Zoom thing where, you know, they're on camera, but the background was kind of controlled. But anyway, he had various people who he had communicated with before, just kind of talking about their story as it relates to race. And there was some, I work for a big company, you know, so we have, you know, we're a global company, and so we obviously have a very diverse workforce from all over the place. But, you know, there were definitely some people, you know, based here in the United States that had some very gripping experiences, you know, growing up and even to this day. And literally nobody got through their story without, you know, tearing up and, you know, getting fairly upset. Even, you know, one woman, you know, was talking about the experience of her children, and that's when it really gets people, is when they start talking about the things they have to tell their kids, and how they deal with it and some of the painful stuff they go through. And it was just it was a very good experience. I'm really glad my company decided to do that. Because honestly, even just throw out the context. The context is incredibly important, but don't even consider the context. Just consider the fact that you're getting to know your coworkers better and, just learning about their experiences and how they tick and, what's on their mind on a daily basis. It really helps to, form cohesion and a bond, with the people that you're working with. So it was fantastic. And even our CEO had some kind of context. He's from India, but I'm pretty sure he's lived most of his life in the United States. But he was talking about a time back in, I think, 1998 when he was working for a company in India, and they actually sent him over to the U.S. to train at one of their factories. And this was a factory in Florence, South Carolina, which is about an hour from where I grew up. And he talked about how all the guys on the factory floor that he was training with and learning from, they were predominantly African American, and coming from India as a young man, never been in the United States before, never had that context of race relations and things like that, especially in the South. Getting to know those guys over the time he was here really opened his eyes to that whole that whole sort of state of being, so to speak. And it's growing up in South Carolina, I was there until I was how old was I when I moved? Basically until 2008, which put me in my 30s at that point. But I lived in South Carolina till then. I lived in Mississippi for a few years. I lived in Missouri for a few years. So, it's inescapable when you grow up in the South. Basically, it's just an everyday part of your life. It's just there, so you're used to it. But I have to imagine, as an outsider and experiencing something like that and having to just absorb all of that at one time, it was probably fairly jarring, coming from a place of not really being able to comprehend exactly what it was all about and the history of it and everything. So. Yeah, at the end, I'll tuck on a video of a couple of deer that were in the backyard. So a mother and her fawn, I guess. I'm assuming it's hers, but this is the tiniest deer I've ever seen in my life. Our dog is literally bigger than this deer, by a substantial margin, at least from a thickness standpoint. But it was just adorable, there with its mom. And at the very end, the mom gives it a little bit of a bath, and the kid's like, leave me alone, Mom, but it was pretty adorable. So I'll tack that on to the end. Full Virginia flake, high quality stuff. I'm glad I bought 16 ounces of it earlier this year. But you guys take care, and as usual, be excellent to one another.